Worked up over their workout. Why these fitness fanatics boot camp is getting the boot from a local park.
Boating bummer. Why you are paying to haul other people's zombie boats away.
Their war, your gain. The fight between toy stores that could get you better deals.
Making the Griswold family Christmas look like child's play. The over-the-top holiday display that's about to light you up. The news starts now.
Live from the station that's in your corner, you're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
Banned from working out in the park after dark. Tonight, a fitness group is looking for a new place to exercise in Cape Coral. Thanks for joining us at 10. I'm Jane Monreal.
I'm Patrick Nolan. The group says they've been working out at J.C. Park in the Cape, but now they have to find a new place because of daylight savings time. 4 in your corner's Rachel Lloyd explains. Rachel?
It got dark here at J.C. Park just before 6 o'clock. Now that's right around the time where the group starts working out. One of their members went to the city to see what other options they have.
We'll do these,
Last week, Gio Bracero ended his group workout at J.C. Park early. A park ranger told them they had to leave because no one's allowed in Cape Coral parks before sunrise and after sunset.
Most people work till 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock comes around, it gets dark, and it just makes it a little hard.
Hard to find a new place to work out. They've been meeting here every Wednesday at 6 for the past 2 years. Bracero says he has researched other parks with extended hours, but he says he's concerned about things like safety, parking, and equipment.
It's a good area that has some workout stations, as you can see behind me here.
It's equipment like this that helps Bracero's group work out. Now, the city has suggested alternatives, but he says it just won't be the same.
There's this terrific linear park that we have along Del Prado Boulevard. It runs 4 miles on both sides from Pine Island Road all the way up to Kismet. That particular stretch of roadway is lit.
City spokesperson Connie Barron tells Bracero she wants to accommodate his group, but says parks close early for one reason.
It's mainly because of public safety. We have at least 19 or more parks here in the city of Cape Coral, existing parks, and we cannot patrol them on a 24/7 basis.
Another option is renting a park.
But there is a fee that it would cost to keep the lights up, because that's mainly the cost that we have to incur.
We do our boot camp, our little workout group. There's no charge, and I'd hate to have to extend that charge to anybody.
Now, the city did say that they will look into other options and get back to Bracero within the next week. In Cape Coral, Rachel Lloyd, Fox 4 in your corner.
All right, thank you, Rachel. A Fort Myers man accidentally shot himself in the leg after he was startled awake. Happened at a home on Tice Street. He says he was asleep in the living room when he heard a noise, so he grabbed the gun that he keeps on the table, but he fell back asleep. He was later awoken by a noise and accidentally shot the gun, shooting himself in the leg. A bizarre story out of Central Florida tonight. A Marion County man is accused of having sex with a miniature horse several times. 21-year-old Nicholas Sardo, this is the mugshot, was arrested after several witnesses reported seeing him in the act. Sardo admitted to having sex with the horse 4 times in 1 week, said he used a condom. This is from the police report. We're not making this up. A judge will determine if he can have future contact with that horse, of course.
A former Cape Coral pastor is facing some serious charges after the church treasurer says tens of thousands of dollars went missing. 44-year-old Jeff Countryman is accused of taking more than $30,000 from Cape Christian Fellowship Church over a 2-year period. 4 in your corner's Call 48 spoke to the current pastor about how they're moving forward and making sure this won't happen again.
Hi, I'm Pastor Jeff Countryman.
Jeff Countryman led the congregation at Cape Christian Fellowship Church in Cape Coral for 2 years, from 2015 to 2017. But after he left, current pastor Corey Demmel says the church's bookkeeper found that Countryman may not have practiced everything he preached.
We found that there was a pretty highly sophisticated scheme of fraud.
Demmel says back in February, the bookkeeper noticed that something in their finances didn't add up, so they asked Cape Coral police to investigate.
They ran an investigation that we've been cooperating with since the winter.
Police say Countryman used his personal credit card for multiple business expenses, such as buying books from Amazon that were never delivered, then inflated the amount when he requested to be reimbursed, over $30,000 in all.
It didn't create a financial burden. I think it created a trust burden that I feel that we have recouped over time. The way this happened isn't possible anymore because we've improved our financial practices through attorneys and financial consultants as well.
Countryman was arrested Monday. He's already bonded out of jail. Demmel says the experience has taught him and his congregation a lot about forgiveness.
We're going to love and forgive, and that doesn't mean we're okay with it happening again. It doesn't mean we're okay with it happening the first time. But in a world where we're trying to divide and point fingers, we believe that love and forgiveness is a better way.
Carl Fortier, Fox 4, in your corner.
Countryman's also accused of stealing around $15,000 from his most recent church in Clearwater, but paid it back. No charges were filed. His court date on the fraud charges in Cape Coral is December 26th.
A woman says two men carjacked and robbed her when she pulled over to let her dog go out and relieve itself. The victim says that she pulled into an abandoned gas station right here near the intersection of North Tamiami Trail and Del Prado Boulevard. And before she could get out, the two guys got into the car. One claimed he had a gun. The victim says she was forced to drive to a field on Grade Road. When she started to have a panic attack, she says the two men thought she was dying, so they freaked out and they fled the area. A heads up tonight, some funny money circulating around Southwest Florida. This week, deputies have been called to TCBY Frozen Yogurt at the Coconut Point Mall and ABC Fine Wine and Spirits on Tamiami Trail in Fort Myers over this. Investigators say two men passed off fake $100 bills at TCBY, and one man tried to pass one at the liquor store. The clerk was able to determine the money was counterfeit.
Tonight, we're learning more about a bomb threat that prompted the evacuation of South Fort Myers High School. The school secretary says someone called it in yesterday. Deputies conducted a sweep of the school, didn't find anything suspicious, and students were allowed back in the building. A 12-year-old has been arrested after confessing to deputies she wrote shooting November 14th inside one of the handicapped stalls in the girls' bathroom at Cypress Lake Middle School last week. Investigators say they take these types of threats seriously, and they are a crime.
The Collier County Sheriff's Office working to stop drivers who are trying to pass stop school buses. They were out with Florida Highway Patrol this morning to try to catch drivers in the act. It wasn't hard to do. 7 drivers were cited for passing a school bus with its stop sign activated there. This was all the buzz on our morning news this morning. A truck carrying bees overturned on State Road 31 in Punta Gorda. You see that swarm of bees in the video? The road was closed for some time as the team wearing that protective gear worked very quickly to try to unload the crates of bees that still had bees in them. Florida Highway Patrol says a dump truck was also involved in the crash, but the driver left the scene. One person was injured in the wreck.
President Trump, along with First Lady Melania and their son Barron, are in Florida after arriving in Palm Beach County earlier this evening. The first family will be spending the Thanksgiving holiday at Mar-a-Lago, what many people refer to as the winter White House. So if you're planning to head to the area, expect some road closures there. President Trump acknowledges his daughter and senior advisor Ivanka Trump used private email during the start of his administration. The Washington Post reports she used her personal email account through much of last year to email cabinet officials, White House aides, and her assistants. The president says it's a totally different thing than what he criticized Hillary Clinton of doing during her time as Secretary of State.
What Ivanka did, it's all in the presidential records. Everything is there. There was no deletion. There was no nothing.
The 33,000 emails Clinton deleted were personal in nature.
After 2 recounts, Florida elections officials have now certified the results of the November 6th election. It was 2 weeks ago tonight. Can you believe it? 4 in the Corner has been pushing to find out how many of your tax dollars were used in these recounts. And tonight we've got an update. Elections officials in Collier County getting back to us, saying the total cost for the county there will be between about $55,000 and $60,000. Folks at Lee County's elections office say they're not going to know the numbers until January. Charlotte County said there's no state reimbursement, so therefore they're not tracking it and have no record of it. All right, whether you're a boater or you never go on the water, you are paying for other people's zombie boats. A special report tonight. I'm on the water getting you answers on how these floating wrecks are costing you.
He's making your Christmas merry and oh so bright. Southwest Florida's favorite decorated house is back at it. One Planet Monkman is lighting up.
There are guests you want for the holidays, and there are ones you don't. How to keep these unwanted ones out of your home this time of year. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10. Derek.
And those temperatures outside getting a little cooler. We'll have the latest on what to expect for tomorrow and Thanksgiving Day coming up.
President Trump sparing 2 turkeys from being served up this Thanksgiving at the annual turkey pardon. The White House took to Twitter earlier, asking which turkey should be pardoned. Well, 39-pounder peas or 41-pounder carrots. The president jokingly talked about the friendly competition, poking fun at the intense midterm elections. Jokes aside, both birds will live out the rest of their lives on a lovely farm in Virginia instead of becoming centerpieces at a Thanksgiving Day meal.
With the holidays happening right now upon us, you're probably getting home ready for your loved one's arrival, but you might also be getting some uninvited guests.
Uninvited year-round, but bugs and rodents could be drawn to your house by all the extra food and guests. 4 in Your Corner's Adam Pinsker tells us how you can stop these pests in their tracks.
You may not see them, but they are still here, living among us.
Our bugs never go away. I mean, we don't have a dormant stage in Florida, especially in South Tropical Florida where we live.
Ivan Starkey with Fort Myers Pest Control says don't be deceived by the recent cool down. Bugs are still among us and waiting for a chance to be invited over for the holidays.
You could have no-see-em issues. Obviously outside, mosquitoes are still an issue in certain areas of Southwest Florida right now. Ants will always be an issue right now, especially when you have your Thanksgiving dinner laid out.
Once you're finished with dinner, don't let those dirty dishes sit around too long and make sure you put leftovers away as soon as possible. Also, when the trash is full, get it to the curb as quickly as possible.
Due diligence, keep your stuff cleaned up, wipe down counters. Normally, our biggest phone calls after the holidays is ants invading their homes.
Ants and roaches aren't the only issue. Bed bugs are also a problem this time of year, and they could be tracked into your home by human guests, especially if they stayed in a hotel room the night before arriving at your house.
One travels with you, it's coming with you no matter where you go.
And you may not realize you have the bed bugs until after your skin breaks out. Although most people don't react to bed bug bites, you can avoid becoming a statistic by inspecting mattresses and mattress covers and putting your clothes in the dryer.
To kill a bed bug, it's 111 degrees. So 111 degrees means you put anything in a dryer at high heat for 30 minutes. That's way over 111 degrees.
And if that fails, Starkey says he's just a phone call away.
If you call us, we'll get rid of them for you.
Adam Pinsker, Fox 4, in your corner.
He also reminds you want to throw out any unused cardboard boxes inside your home, especially this time of year, because they can harbor roaches.
Oh, I still have goosebumps from all those bed bugs. The holiday travel period is underway, and airports are already seeing a major uptick in traffic. No surprise there. Tens of millions of people are going to take to the skies this Thanksgiving week. So here's a live look at the big board at RSW. Most of the flights departed just fine. So anyone heading to the airport is advised to allow plenty of extra time to get through security. And if you think opting for the roads will save you some time, oh, think again. In some of the more congested cities, drivers could see trip times quadruple. This is a live look at San Francisco. The heavy traffic is making the roadways look more like a candy cane. Does look pretty. Experts suggest driving on the lightest travel days, that is Thanksgiving Day, Friday and Saturday. Expect to sit in traffic on Sunday. And if Thanksgiving traffic doesn't give you enough of a headache, there's a turkey prank going viral, and it's driving parents crazy. The Turkey Challenge says, text your mom and ask her how long it takes to microwave a 25-pound turkey. One Twitter user says her mom called her an idiot 3 times, and one mom responding, wrap it in foil, put it in the microwave, then go buy a pre-cooked one so you can feed the fire department. Butterball also responded saying microwaving a turkey is actually possible, but you might want to find a smaller bird.
Well, speaking of smaller birds, there's a trend that's bucking all the traditional gluttony of Thanksgiving. More and more people are actually buying smaller turkeys on purpose. Back in the day, a scrawny Thanksgiving bird was actually considered a fair criticism during a holiday that glorifies eating a lot, going big or go home. Well, now it's apparently a point of pride for some folks. According to Bloomberg, tiny turkeys are all the rage. They're considered, tiny if they're smaller than 15 pounds. And if you're wondering why, researchers say you can thank your local millennial.
Millennials make less money than their parents, so they can't afford the big turkeys anymore.
The small turkey is really all about the size of our families, the changing in traditions.
Experts say it's not just about the smaller family, though. The smaller bird is also the result of millennials wanting to reduce food waste and also for their quest for farm-to-fork food, that is, knowing their turkey was allowed to roam free before it was slaughtered and that can lead to a smaller bird if they get to run around.
Put it that way.
Yeah.
I thought it would be the non-wasting thing.
Yeah.
That's the good thing about millennials.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with the smaller bird because I can never eat all that turkey anyway.
I know. You know, the leftovers, I mean, it's great in concept, but I mean, really, turkey pot pie, turkey fried rice, and turkey kebabs.
And half of it gets freezer burn when it sits in it for 6 months. So.
It's just a little much.
Yeah, it looks like the weather's going to be nice, though, for travel tomorrow and for Thanksgiving Day. It looks like the weather going to be no issue at all for anyone that's going to be trying to get out tomorrow or on Thanksgiving Day. So here's what's going on the radar now. Storm Shield 4 Doppler, we're tracking a few showers earlier this afternoon. Most of the rain, though, is now starting to move away from the area. You could see it there over on the East Coast and just offshore. And it looks like for tonight, if you've been out the past few hours, you probably noticed that it's a little cooler, a little less humid outside, and that is what's to come here for the next 24 to 36 hours or so. As the temperatures now are dropping back into the upper 60s north of the Caloosahatchee River. South of the river, still looking at readings around 70 to the low 70s. But look at the dew points now dropping back into the mid 60s. And it looks like we'll see some 50-degree dew points sneaking in here by this time tomorrow night as some drier air starts to push in behind a cold front. Winds light out of the northwest. Right now at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So tomorrow morning, mid-60s. Skies will be mostly clear. Should be a beautiful afternoon with temperatures getting up to around 80 degrees tomorrow afternoon under mostly sunny skies. So picture perfect day to do any travel by air or by land. Now, right now, it does not look like we're going to see any significant delays, at least from big storm systems, at least for the eastern half of the country. It does look like, though, for Thanksgiving Day, the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic could be looking at one of the coldest Thanksgiving days that they've seen in quite some time. Even some areas may see the coldest in over 100 years. So if you're going to be heading up that way, prepare for some very cold weather. But around here, it looks like it's going to be nice. This is tomorrow's forecast. This is your travel forecast for tomorrow. Around 81 degrees here by midday, sunny skies, and then tomorrow evening into the mid-70s just after sunset. Skies will be mostly clear. So safe travels for all of you out there that are going to be hitting the road here for tomorrow, taking to the air. 60s for tonight. 80s for tomorrow for most areas, although some spots may only reach the upper 70s, particularly north of the Caloosahatchee River. And then for Thursday morning, temperatures again down into the low to mid 60s, and then high temperatures again topping out around 80 here for Thanksgiving afternoon. 65 for tonight under mostly clear to partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow 81, sunshine, northeast winds at about 5 to 10. Your Ingman marine forecast for tomorrow sees 2 feet or less. We'll see inland waters with a light chop here for tomorrow afternoon. Sunrise at 6:50 a.m. Here's your 7-day forecast. We're going to go with a low around 60 for Thursday morning, 81 for your Thursday afternoon plans, and then we'll slowly start to creep up here towards Black Friday, so it looks good for shopping there, and some small chances for showers this weekend. Otherwise, a little more humid with temperatures into the lower 80s.
All right, no real complaints. Thanks, Derek. With Toys R Us out of the way, several other stores are competing for your business. How they plan to lure you in.
He's got friends in low places. When Garth Brooks is planning to return to the Sunshine State. It's next on Fox 4 News at 10. Country music superstar Garth Brooks is coming back to the Sunshine State. He took to Twitter this morning saying he's getting ready for game day as he announced 2 more stops on his 2019 stadium tour. He's going to be at the home of the Fightin' Gators, Ben Hill Griffin Stadium in Gainesville on April 20th. The tickets go on sale on Thursday, November 29th at 10 in the morning. You just head to garthbrooks.com to get your hands on those, if you got the money. He really does got the moves like Jagger. We're not talking about Maroon 5. The Rolling Stones, the real ones, are kicking off their No Filter tour right here in Florida. They're going to be at Miami's Hard Rock Stadium on April 20th. The tickets go on sale November 30th. They'll also be playing at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville on April 24th. You can head to our website for more information on this one.
Wow, they are still doing it. All right, forget Rudolph's nose. There's a Cape Coral home that shines brighter. We'll show you how Planet Monkman is planning to light up your Christmas. Dead in the water, derelict boats making local waterways hard to navigate and could end up costing you. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
Ram. Live from the station that's in your corner. You're watching Fox 4 News at 10.
If you love to be on the water in Southwest Florida, you're not alone. People in our part of Florida share a love of being on the Gulf, but we also share the risk of what happens when other people leave their boats behind in the waters we all coast through. Tonight, I'm taking you out on the water, thanks to a local charter boat captain who gave me a lift, to show you why your taxpayer dollars are sometimes used to clean up other people's messes, and what we can all do to keep it from happening again and again. Ah, yes, beautiful Southwest Florida. The boats, the blue skies, more boats, the sunsets, everything looks picture perfect. That is until our Skyfox 4 drone slams into a palm tree. Yep, watch it again in slow motion. It happens. Where are we going?
Just right over here to Picnic Island.
And as charter boat captain Colin Carpenter will tell you, collisions can happen on the water too, usually not long after a boat sinks.
You know, you don't always know where those things are going to be. If it just happened yesterday and you come out the next morning and there's a sailboat mast sticking up out of the water, that could be an issue.
An issue that's often hidden beneath the surface of our local waters and can seriously hurt or even kill boaters that run into them, not to mention the damage it can do to your boat. How long have you been in law enforcement?
8 years. It'll be 8 years in January.
Brian Norris is with Florida Fish and Wildlife, the agency that deals with what it calls derelict boats.
A derelict boat is anything that's been wrecked, junked, or substantially dismantled. These boats are a huge issue all across the state.
A huge issue that also affects the environment. Colin used his phone to record this video of what he found in one.
This boat in particular looks like a lead acid battery in it. There's a lot that can be left behind. You know, fuel, garbage, wiring, the hull paint, you know, is toxic. So it can create this little plume around the boat that is harmful for any marine life that comes into contact with it.
Derelict boats are also illegal. Leaving one behind is a second-degree misdemeanor that can get you slapped with a $500 fine or 2 months in jail, plus the cost of having it removed. But if Fish and Wildlife officers can't find who left it there, guess who's on the hook for when FWC handles it?
It ends up costing the taxpayers more money in the end. I mean, we're talking thousands of dollars to remove some of these boats.
I got the numbers for the fiscal year that just ended in September. In Lee County alone, it took more than 100,000 taxpayer dollars to remove derelict boats. The folks at Fish and Wildlife tell me statewide, they spend between $500,000 and $1 million taxpayer dollars to help remove derelict vessels from the water every year. And then there's the cost of disposing of them. And guess what?
A lot of times the burden for the disposal of it still falls on the taxpayers.
He tells me one reason for that is the difficulty of finding who owns the boat. They start with what would seem like a straightforward process, going to the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles to find who owns the boat.
But a lot of times when we start doing the investigation, we realize that the boat has been sold. I've done some investigations where it's been sold 3 or 4 times since the last registered owner.
That search for the current owner explains why some derelict boats sit in the water for so long.
These investigations can take, a few months, if not longer.
He tells me even when they do find the owner, the solution might seem simple.
They can have a salvage company come out and get rid of it in a couple days.
But the more common response is inaction and delay, since Florida law gives owners time once they're put on official notice.
There's a 45-day period that they're either able to bring the boat into compliance, remove it themselves, or request a hearing with Florida Fish and Wildlife.
If owners don't remove the boat, the state can charge them, sending them a bill to pay back the tax dollars that FWC uses to remove it. But many boat owners claim they don't have the money. And sometimes whoever left it there is careful to make sure they can't be found.
There are cases where all the identifiers have been removed from the boat and they've essentially dumped it there, and then we're unable to actually determine who the owner is.
So what can you do to make sure your tax dollars are not used to clean up other people's messes?
We want them to call FWC, report the boat.
He says the sooner the investigation starts, the better, since leaving it to rot in the water can jack up the logistics and the price of removal. And while it might be easy to presume someone else already called it in.
But not everybody does that. They kind of, avoid it and then hope that they don't run into it next time.
For captains like Colin, someone reporting a derelict boat could save their livelihood, maybe even their lives.
I am out on the water a lot in the dark, early morning, late at night. So you know, you don't always know where those things are going to be.
Even so, he knows for every risk in the Gulf, there's a reward.
That's a big part of it for me, is just there's always something cool to see, you know?
And believe it or not, that something cool for some of his returning clients from up north has been the mystery of derelict boats.
Sometimes, like, the one thing they would remember is, oh, that boat over there in the mangroves.
Sometimes they come back the next season, it's still there. So here's the number if you spot a derelict boat, 888-404-2922. Now, whether you are the seller or the buyer of a boat, the law in Florida says you've got to register that sale with the state within 30 days of that transaction. And keep in mind, if you're found to be the registered owner, even if you sold it but you didn't register it, you could be forced to pay for the removal. So we're actually working on showing you what FWC is doing proactively to make sure that boats are sort of fined, the boat owners, before it gets to that point. And you can also see a map of where they are in Southwest Florida. Hopefully keep you safe when you click on my story.
Terrible. There are so many that are out there. I mean, why are they people leaving their boats?
It's so many different reasons. Sometimes it is insurance fraud is suspected, but other times it, you know, they were crying as the boat was going down, but then it wasn't insured and they don't have the money to pull it out of there themselves. So they would love to be able to recover it, but in the meantime, the rest of us are stuck with it.
Yeah, that's really tough. Beautiful footage, though, of all those boats.
Kurt
in the
Tremper,
water.
our chief photographer, did a great job.
No, that was nice. Well, good news for visitors and people living on Fort Myers Beach. The sidewalk from the Lani Kai to Times Square will soon get a makeover. Right now, the sidewalk along Estero Boulevard is cracked and in poor condition. Fort Myers Beach Town Council members say the pavers will be removed and the new sidewalk will be poured concrete.
You may have heard the news, right? Toys R Us might make a comeback after they went bankrupt. The company's talking about relaunching the brand next year, but they're not saying if that is going to mean actually reopening the shuttered stores.
All right, so as for this holiday season, For In Your Corner's John Matarese checking out the news toy store wars so you don't waste your money.
News that Toys R Us may be planning a comeback has parents thrilled. Could Jeffrey and company be returning? Possibly, but not in time for this holiday season. So we look to find the best toy options for parents right now.
The toy wars are underway now that there's no one big box store to fulfill everyone's toy and video game needs.
There's no place to shop for toys now. We have no toy stores. There's no Toys R Us.
Kathy Held was shopping at Target for holiday gifts. She liked the clean displays, but
And it's like 5 aisles, 6 aisles maybe, compared to the whole store.
Samantha Rodriguez and her daughter, Adriana, are also unsure how they will replace Toys R Us.
It's hard to find that much variety in one store anymore.
Big box stores have their eyes on moms like Kathy and Samantha and know this is the season to grab them. A new survey by research firm Gordon Haskell found that the stores benefiting most are Walmart, now getting 26% of Toys R Us's customers, Target 14% of them, Dollar General 10%, Dollar Tree 10%, and Costco 8%.
Here's something you'll probably notice. Target's getting more big toys like these Peg Perego ride-on cars. That's because they're no longer sold at Toys R Us. They're also putting out more Barbie figures and other toys that were a staple of Toys R Us.
Meantime, Walmart says it's expanding its toy selection by 30%. JCPenney, Kohl's, and Costco have also announced larger toy departments. Kohl's has made a major investment by adding Lego and FAO Schwarz toys. But there's a downside. Lego and Schwarz do not allow mass markdowns. That means store-wide Kohl's coupons can no longer be used on toys, as Ashley Fuller discovered.
Now it's no toys. Now it's just clothing, accessories, and like stuff like that.
That leads to the biggest question. As stores expand their selection, who will have the lowest prices? It's too early to tell, but no chain wants to lose shoppers because of high prices. In addition, they're all battling the 800-pound gorilla, Amazon. So we should see toy markdowns this year like we haven't seen since the recession, though Samantha is still wistful.
Are you going to miss Toys R Us?
Yeah, we are.
I'm John Matarese, Fox 4 In Your Corner.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention warning you tonight not to eat romaine lettuce at all because it could be contaminated with E. coli. 32 people, including 13 who've ended up in the hospital, have been infected in 11 states. Now, so far, there have been no reports of anyone getting sick in Florida, and no deaths have been reported, thank goodness. The CDC says if you have any romaine lettuce in your home, throw it away. And restaurants, you shouldn't be serving it right now. The origin of the outbreak still is unknown tonight. Are you ready to rock around the Christmas tree? It's one of my favorite songs this time of year. Cape Coral's famous Christmas light display is about to set the music back on. We're going to give you a sneak peek of Planet Monkman.
Right, well, this butterball didn't want to be basted. How it tried to escape its fate.
Keep running, turkey. And we want to give you a look back at another beautiful day in Southwest Florida. No derelict boats that we can see on the water, just ones at work. From the Storm Smart Sky Cam, Chief Meteorologist Eric Beasley with their full forecast just ahead on Fox 4 News at 10.
All right, with Thanksgiving just 2 days away, you may not have time to start thinking about decorating for Christmas.
But one of your fellow Southwest Floridians is already at it, so you can enjoy a big show this weekend and all through the holidays.
For In Your Corner's photojournalist Tom Lloyd has a look at how Neil Monkman is bringing you some spirit at his home in Cape Coral.
It's a challenge.
Challenge accepted for Neil Monkman to get his home in the Christmas spirit for the most wonderful time of the year.
This is Planet Monkman Christmas.
It takes Monkman nearly 5 to 6 weeks to complete his display, making sure everything works.
I do know I go through approximately somewhere in the neighborhood of 3,000 to 4,000 zip ties.
But there is the occasional headache.
There's a lot of frustration, a lot of aggravation. Dealing with a problem right now. Blew out an outlet.
He's had a display for the last 11 years, starting off small.
But now we're up to almost 30 controllers. And like I said, so probably somewhere around 150, 160,000 lights.
And all that walking back and forth really adds up.
30,420 divided by 5,280, 5.7 miles. Not as bad as I thought.
But this display is no easy feat. But if you're still interested in trying to do a big display, Monkman says one of the biggest challenges is
time. Sequencing takes a long time. You spend a lot of hours in front of the computer.
But despite the miles walked, Monkman hopes his display draws crowds and the much-needed donations, all of which go to a retired officers' nonprofit organization. They use the donations to purchase ballistic vests for canine officers.
We're going to try to raise $8,000, probably the most we've ever tried to raise. So we're really hoping that we'll get a big crowd out here.
And that big crowd won't have to wait long.
Everything's pretty much done.
As Monkman plans on throwing the switch this Saturday night.
It really is the most wonderful time of the year.
Tom Lloyd, Fox 4 in your corner.
And if you want to see it all lit up, he'll be ready for you starting this Saturday. The address is 1930 Northeast 20th Street in Cape Coral. It's right near the intersection of 20th Avenue. And you can find out more when you look for Neil Monkman on Facebook.
All right, that looks so good and took him so long to set that up. So every year there is this debate. When should you start putting up your holiday displays? Some say before Thanksgiving so you can enjoy them longer, while others say one holiday at a time, please. So we asked you, Southwest Florida. We set up a Facebook poll to find out if you wait until after Thanksgiving to put up your holiday displays. So far, 183 people say yes, they wait, while 53 say no, they don't. It is not too late to answer for yourself. Just head over to our Facebook page.
An impressive waterspout drew the attention of a lot of people when it appeared not too far offshore in Salerno, Italy. It was captured on video by a passerby as it spun. It looked like that tornado effect just above the homes on a hill in the small town of Vietre sul Mare. Yes.
Sounds delicious.
Yes. Somebody from that town in Italy right now in Southwest Florida going, that's not how you say it.
Well, that kind of dwarfs the little funnel cloud that we
I
had
know,
here.
we had our own little funnel cloud.
Yeah, not to be outdone, but looks like the weather's going to be quiet, at least here,
We like
for the
that.
next couple of days. So, yeah, definitely something for all of you out there that are looking to get out of here perhaps tomorrow or maybe early on Thursday for the Thanksgiving holiday. Travel plans looking just fine right now weather-wise. I don't anticipate any significant delays, at least getting out of RSW here for tomorrow as a result of the weather. So clear skies expected for the next few days. Lower humidity. You probably already noticed that it felt a little more comfortable outside when you stepped outside this evening. That's because a cold front's making its way through the area now. Some lingering showers still going on through parts of Palm Beach County and over into areas of eastern Hendry County, just south of Clewiston. But it looks like most other areas, though, are beginning to dry out here for tonight. It looks like we're going to gradually see skies clear out and temperatures are going to continue to drop. Already into the upper 60s north of the Caloosahatchee River. Dew points down in the low to mid 60s north of the river. Still around 70, though, down in Collier County. But we do expect the humidity levels and the moisture levels to actually begin dropping here for tonight. And this should stay fairly low, at least for the next couple of days, before creeping back up Friday into the upcoming weekend. Clear skies expected for tomorrow morning, mid 60s. Expected to get up to around 80 here for tomorrow afternoon. There are lots of sunshine, so again, no issues expected travel-wise across the area. We are expecting some pretty chilly weather, though, off towards the north and east, and it looks like really high pressure is going to be the main weather feature that's going to be controlling the weather for most of the eastern U.S. That means sunny skies for us and a good chunk of the eastern U.S. But look how cold it is off towards the north. All these purples up here are teens and 20 below zero. These temperatures are going to sneak their way down into the mid-Atlantic and northeast. So if you're heading to places like New York City or D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, Boston, you're going to be looking at some big-time cold. Big upper-level troughs going to be digging down there, and that is where the coldest weather is going to be for Thanksgiving Day, right in this area. We're going to stay relatively mild here, but this is where we're probably going to be seeing temperatures colder than it's been in decades up towards the mid-Atlantic and northeast and New England for Thanksgiving Day. So just keep that in mind if you're going up there. It's going to be colder than it normally is for this time of year. So predictors showing just a few clouds around for tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine expected here for your Thanksgiving Day. We'll start the morning off with a few clouds. It could see a couple of showers sneak into areas of the East Coast here by late Thursday, but it looks like we're going to stay mainly dry here for Thanksgiving across all of Southwest Florida. So 65 tonight, partly cloudy and comfortable. Tomorrow, 81. With mostly sunny skies. Ingman Marine forecast sees 2 feet or less. Inland waters, a light chop. Sunrise at 6:50 a.m. 7-day forecast, low around 60 for Thursday morning, 81 for Thursday afternoon. A little more humid here for Friday into the weekend. Slight chances for showers returning Saturday and Sunday.
On camera, a gas-stealing suspect almost goes up in flames himself.
Turkey on the run. All right, this big guy may have been trying to escape his fate as a possible centerpiece on Thanksgiving. Next on Fox 4 News at 10.
Steve Rapp.
Well, Turkey Day is just around the corner, which may explain why this bird was caught trying to turn himself in. According to a Facebook post, the turkey was found climbing into a police cruiser in Cheshire, Massachusetts. When the officer left, the turkey gave chase, which earned him the nickname the Lurky Turkey. Portland authorities say an attempt to steal gas ended with a suspect on fire. Officials say someone tried to siphon gas from a parked U-Haul truck when something ignited the gasoline, causing a fire. Next thing you know, the suspect is seen running off with his pants on fire. Firefighters responded to the scene, quickly put out the flames. Investigators are now poring over the footage and looking for clues on the suspect, who they assume may be in need of medical attention.
2 sheriff's deputies who responded to the Parkland shooting now leaving the force, while another one is suspended. Why there's concern about their conduct as the shooting was happening. The manager of a Florida ice cream shop in a mugshot tonight. What he's accused of doing to some teenage customers. New developments in the wildfires burning in California. What's fueling concern for the crews who are fighting the flames? It's all new next on Fox 4 News.